What if one of the British royal family's most mysterious inheritances was never meant for the person everyone expected? For years, many believed a valuable piece of royal legacy would eventually find its way to Prince Andrew. But behind palace walls, a very different story may have been unfolding. Now, growing reports suggest that Princess Anne has emerged as the trusted guardian of an inheritance so significant that even senior royal aides reportedly treated the records with extraordinary caution. And if those reports are true, this isn't just a story about money. It's a story about trust, duty, and the future of the monarchy itself. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most intriguing royal stories currently generating discussion among royal watchers. What began as a quiet review of historical royal records has reportedly evolved into a fascinating debate about legacy, responsibility, and who the monarchy trusts most. Why is Princess Anne suddenly at the center of attention? Why do some insiders believe Prince Andrew expected a different outcome? And what does this reveal about the values shaping the royal family today? Let's get into it. He discovery that sparked palach aspers. According to reports circulating among royal commentators, everything began during what was supposed to be a routine review of historical family records. At first, nobody thought much of it. The royal household manages centuries of documents, trusts, agreements, and archives. Reviews happen regularly, but insiders allegedly noticed something unusual this time. Meetings stretched far longer than expected. Documents that hadn't been examined for years were suddenly being requested. Questions became more urgent. And behind closed doors, a quiet realization reportedly began taking shape. The focus of the review wasn't simply wealth. It involved an inheritance connected to royal legacy itself. As details slowly emerged, one name repeatedly surfaced: Princess Anne. For many observers, that was completely unexpected. After all, Anne has spent decades carrying out her duties with remarkable consistency, rarely seeking attention and rarely finding herself at the center of royal drama. Yet suddenly, she was being linked to something that could carry enormous symbolic significance. And that's when the story became impossible to ignore. As inheritance matters. To understand why the story created so much interest, it's important to understand what this inheritance allegedly represents. According to long-standing royal speculation, the inheritance was never primarily about financial value. Its importance comes from what it symbolizes. Within the monarchy, some assets are viewed less as possessions and more as responsibilities passed from one trusted guardian to another. They're connected to continuity, to tradition, to preserving history for future generations. In other words, the person chosen isn't simply receiving something valuable. They're being entrusted with protecting something important. That distinction changes everything. Suddenly, the question isn't who deserves it. The question becomes who can be trusted with it. And that is where Princess Anne's name began attracting attention. Expectations surrounding Prince Andrew W. For years, many observers assumed Prince Andrew would naturally be considered for significant family inheritances tied to royal lineage. As the son of a monarch and a longtime member of the institution, some believed his position gave him certain advantages. Whether those expectations were ever formally encouraged remains unclear. But according to various reports, there was a widespread assumption that opportunities connected to royal legacy might eventually come his way. Then circumstances changed. Over time, the monarchy faced increasing scrutiny. Public expectations evolved, and the qualities valued inside the institution appeared to evolve as well. What once seemed certain no longer appeared guaranteed. As royal priorities shifted toward trust, stability, and public confidence, some observers began questioning whether traditional assumptions still carried the same weight. And that question would eventually become central to the inheritance story. How Princess Anne earned extraordinary trust. While others attracted headlines, Princess Anne was quietly building something much more powerful: trust. Year after year, she continued performing hundreds of engagements. She fulfilled responsibilities without seeking publicity. She navigated difficult periods without public complaint. And she developed a reputation for reliability that few members of the royal family could match. Many royal commentators have frequently described Anne as one of the hardest working royals. But what truly set her apart wasn't visibility. It was consistency. She showed up, she fulfilled her duties, and she did so decade after decade. Inside any institution, especially one as old as the monarchy, reliability becomes incredibly valuable. Because during periods of uncertainty, leaders often place their confidence in people they know they can depend on. And according to royal observers, Princess Anne became exactly that kind of figure. The I influence of Queen Elizabeth's Vallis. Another reason this story has attracted so much attention is the belief that it reflects values strongly associated with Queen Elizabeth II. Throughout her reign, the late Queen consistently emphasized service. She often demonstrated that royal life was not about privilege alone. It was about responsibility. Duty came first. Personal ambition came second. Many commentators believe those principles continue influencing decisions within the royal family even today. If that interpretation is correct, then the inheritance may not have been awarded based on status or expectation. Instead, it may have reflected qualities the Queen valued most: dedication, dependability, stewardship, and long-term commitment. When viewed through that lens, Princess Anne's involvement begins to make much more sense. King Charles and the bigger picture. Reports suggest King Charles viewed the matter through a broader perspective. This wasn't simply a family issue. It was an institutional one. Every major royal decision sends a message. And according to palace observers, the message here appears to be clear. The monarchy is placing increasing emphasis on continuity, stability, and trust. In a rapidly changing world, those qualities have become more important than ever. The institution must think in decades rather than days. It must consider future generations. And it must ensure that important responsibilities remain in capable hands. From that perspective, the inheritance becomes symbolic of something much larger than any individual family member. It becomes a statement about the values the monarchy intends to preserve moving forward. Real Elson behind controversy. As the debate continues, one conclusion stands out above all others. This story was never really about wealth. It was never simply about who received an inheritance and who didn't. Instead, it became a conversation about trust, about legacy, about what qualities matter most inside one of the world's oldest institutions. For many observers, Princess Anne's emergence as the reported guardian of this inheritance symbolizes a larger shift taking place within the monarchy. A shift where decades of service matter more than expectation, where reliability outweighs entitlement, and where stewardship is valued above status. Whether every detail of the reports proves accurate or not, the symbolism remains powerful, because in the end, the monarchy survives through continuity, and continuity depends on trust. So what do you think? Does this reported inheritance story reveal a deeper shift in royal priorities? And do you believe Princess Anne was the right person to be entrusted with such an important piece of royal legacy? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and want more royal news, analysis, and behind-the-scenes stories from the House of Windsor, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.